Hey, how's it going? I got a Fisher F19 here, and I'm going to run it through my test bed, which I got approximately 30 targets. And as usual, he's got other videos on running other metal detectors in there. We're going to see how good it does. And you got to just, people need to keep in mind, I'm no expert, but I do get a metal detector. I'll keep playing with it, finding every angle that it has to make them perform good, and then once I do that, I'll end up testing them. But we're going to go up there and hit that bed, and this is running a stock coil. It's not a very big coil that they come with, so as far as depth, it will hinder it. I'm not going to go into all the details on it. I'll show you what I do to what settings I'll have it at, but let's go ahead and get up there and get going. All right, to get started, we are going to run the gain up to 100%. We're running in disc mode, and I'm going to quick ground balance it. Got both numbers looking the same. So, and as far as any kind of separation, I'm in discrimination mode, but as you can see there, I'm going to pull every target up, and I'm going to do the V break up around 60 to 70. Anything under, I think, 70 is going to give a lower tone. Anything above 70, a higher tone. So let's hurry up and get started. And also keep in mind, this is my soil. Conditions vary everywhere. So first target's a quarter, 20 or 4 inches deep. Hitting real good. Now quarter at 7. You notice how quiet that is, but it is coming up. I would dig that. You pinpoint, pretty good. It's showing it at 8 inches. Let's try it this way. Very, very quiet, but they said that smaller coil on there, but does hinder it. But it did hit it. 10-inch quarter, nothing. And then a 4.5-inch dime. Hits it. Now 8-inch dime. Barely saying it's there, but if you had headphones on, you'd faintly hear that, to where you'd probably stop and look at it. And it is showing ID that it is something there. You got to give it that. It is pulling that 8-inch, but once you got to know the detector, I think you'd be able to pick something like that up. A nickel at 6. It hits it. And a nickel at 8. It's doing it. Don't ask me why these nickels read high up here in my soil. They were some old nickels and they are buried deep, but there you go, 8-inch nickel, good to go. Copper penny, reading a solid 83, 2 inches. A zinc penny, 78. Very easy to tell the difference on them. Now a silver ring at 6 inches. It's not doing it. Why, I don't know. If that's because of the higher frequency, but it's not pulling it in. Silver dollar, Morgan dollar, 11 inches, nothing. And then a brass candle holder at 15. Didn't figure it would. Now we're going to move down to the next row. There's a bottle cap at 4 inches. It is saying it's there. And then a 10-cent piece with 4 rusty nails around it. A real hard one. Looking for any kind of break in there. There it is. It is picking that up one way. Only one way, but it's doing the job. That's pretty awesome. Now 25-cent piece with 3 inches deep with a big nail beside it. It's hitting it. You definitely try to dig that. But this side, nothing. And now 2 pull tabs, 3 inches deep. Tell you right away that's what it is. Now a piece of can sloth, 2 inches deep. Not telling you it's a quarter, that's good. And a quarter on end at 4 inches. Hit it. Now a dime, 4 inches deep with 2 rusty nails on it. Not letting you. Well, here it might. It's hitting it one way. It's pretty good. Now a 1 cent, a 5 cent, and a 10 cent, 4 inches deep, and they're 2 inches apart. This is for recovery. Not too bad. With that little coil like that, even to being 2 inches away, you can distinguish them out pretty good. Now there's a 1 cent piece and a 10 cent piece with 7 nails around it. Look at that. I just think that's incredible. Just picking that penny up with all them nails around it. How about the dime? It knows it's there. Going to the side though. We'll have to give it 1 point. It did pick that up. A quarter at a foot deep. Didn't think so. Then a 22 bullet, 2.5 inches deep. Definitely know it's there. And then a dime, 4 inches deep with 5 rusty nails that are 2 inches above it. This is like wicked hard. I don't know if I'm ever going to find a detector that'll pull through that. Try this way. This thing's awesome when you slow it down and study the soil. No way. It is so close to pulling that in. Look at that. It is so close. You know, I'd almost Probably dig that. Got to give it one. 11-inch dime. Nada. Now we're going to move down to some small targets in the air. Alright, I got a group of small targets here. First one is a grain of gold. And we are still going to be running full discrimination. This grain of gold is very, very small. It's 24 carats. Absolutely no problem. The next target is a iron meteorite. Very, very, very little iron in there. Maybe some nickel. Rub it right on it. Nothing. Now if I were to turn it to all metal, pulling that thing like good 4 inches away and it pulls that in. Pretty awesome. That'd be awesome for small, very small relics. This here is a stony meteorite that fell in Wisconsin. Discrimination. Figured nothing. Now this has so little amount of iron in it, it ain't even funny. Here's all metal. Picks it up. Gonna give it a point for that. Now next up I have, it's like all the other tests, 3 pieces of copper. And the bigger one, medium one, and a small one. Now these are much smaller than that grain of gold. I'm going to run on discrimination. Pulls it in pretty good. The second biggest one, same thing. That's how big it is. Now the real small one. That's much smaller than a grain of gold. And on discrimination, you see there it pulled it in. Put it to all metal. I'm about 1 inch away. Hard to believe, but it does it. Alright, there you go, that Fisher Labs F19. I really like this metal detector. The more I use it, the more I do like it. Separation, unreal on this thing. And recovery's good enough that separation is multiplied. Now what hurt this is that small coil that's on there they come stock with. And it ended up getting 44 out of 66 points. Basically, what hurt it was the depth with that small coil. By no means it is still deep. I mean, you're talking 7 inches and 8 inches, you know, pretty respectable for that coil. But as you saw with the test bed, separation is pretty wicked with this machine, and ability to pick up them small items is phenomenal. So overall, it's a very, very, I'd say a strong machine. Ease of use, 3 points. I only gave it 1. It takes a little bit to learn it, but it's not too bad. Maybe I'm being a little picky there, but it's definitely not a turn on and go. And then weight and balance, I only gave it a 2. It just, I've got some other detectors that seem to basically just form right into your arm, and this one isn't too bad, but it is a very light detector and whatnot, but I might be picky on that too. But keep in mind, this is just my test bed and I'm no expert. You could possibly find, you know, other things with this to make it even better, but I do believe I've looked at every angle I could. But if you're looking for a very promising detector for small items and in a trashy area, this thing is just awesome. I really like it for that. and it does have a lot of options. You can do a lot of things with it, with backlights and everything else, so you got to give it a plus for all that. And very portable, easy to use. It reminds me of the Tesoros, to be honest with you. But it just, pretty nice detector. So there you go, the Fisher Research Labs F19. There you are. Pretty solid performer on this F19. I'm actually impressed with it. One problem with it though, I think would potentially be a big problem, is if you're hunting in the woods and you set it down, you lose it with it being camo.